Hey guys, it's Chris. From finding a collection of coins in a wall to tons of cash in a mattress and more, join me as I reveal to you the best random places valuables have been found. Number 8. Wall vault of coins. Coins are something that can be very valuable depending on their make, age, composition, etc. So you'd think you'd put them in a safe place like a bank or a vault, right? One family, though, had an entirely different idea on where to place their coins. They decided to put their spare change in the walls of their home. Oh, and not just one or two coins, but many, many coins, as another family would soon find out. This particular true story occurred in Pennsylvania in an abandoned house. Some of their kids were playing in the house when they noticed some coins lying around. They didn't look like modern coins, so they took them back to their parents. Upon inspection, the parents realized that these coins weren't just old, they were also rare. To get to the bottom of this mystery, they brought in Jeff Biddleman, who owned a rare collectibles store, to search the house and see what else he could find. After inspecting the house, he found more coins, but he didn't stop there. He noticed a hole in the wall, one that seemed to be much different than a standard hole. Breaking it so he could see more, he found a plethora of coins that had apparently been stored there by the people who lived there beforehand. The coins that he found weren't standard by any measurement of the imagination. They were Liberty dimes, Morgan silver dollars, and more. If you added up the worth just on face value, it'd be around $8,500. However, inspection showed the rarity of the coins, some of which made the worth of the coins around $200,000, which is definitely something you wouldn't expect coins to be worth. This in turn raised many questions, including why the family who had these apparently very valuable coins not only put them in the walls of their home, but then sold said home without retrieving the coins themselves. Did they just forget? Number 7. Saddle Ridge Hoard. A couple in California was walking their dog on their private property in Gold Country, which is in Sierra Nevada, California, in 2014. While walking together, they went down a slightly different path than usual, and when they did, they saw a metal can sticking up out of the ground, which they felt was curious for one reason or another. When they looked inside the can, they were shocked to see themselves looking at a plethora of gold coins. How many of them? 1,427 of them. Now, if you were to take the literal value of the coins, they'd be worth almost $30,000. Objectively, a very large amount of money that would have made just about anyone who found them very happy. However, there is a twist here though. The coins held a historical value as well, which meant the hoard itself was worth around an astonishing $10 million. The range of the coins in terms of dates was also impressive, as they ranged from 1847 to 1894, which makes one wonder how they got put there in the can, and when they got put there in the ground. The two made sure they hid their treasure until they could verify and cash out, but they were also sure to keep their own home location quiet to make sure that people didn't come looking for more treasure. The treasure itself was later named the Saddle Ridge Hoard. Plus, I bet those homeowners did a lot more walks on their property, just to make sure there weren't other valuables hidden and buried around. Wouldn't you? I sure would. Have you ever found anything cool? Let me know in the comments below. And now for number 6. But first, be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Number 6. Storage lockers. Storage lockers are meant to be a place where people can store their excess items without feeling like they're throwing things away, which is a nice sentiment, but over time people keep forgetting to pay for their lockers, and thus they leave their valuables behind. A bad move, because some of these lockers had valuables that were worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of dollars. Don't believe me? Why do you think that shows like Auction Hunters and Storage Wars were made? They were done to bank off of the craze that was sweeping the nation and paying dividends. What about you? Do you watch these shows? Did they make you want to get a storage unit? Let me know in the comments below. Also, allow me to share with you some of the rare things that have been found in said storage lockers. A copy of Action Comics #1, the comic that debuted Superman and which is worth over $1 million. There was a case of actual pirate treasure via coins found in a safe in a storage locker that was worth over $500,000. And arguably most mind-boggling of all, a model of the submersible car that was used in the actual James Bond film, The Spy Who Loved Me, was found in a storage unit. To reiterate, it was one of the actual cars from the film, and it was later sold for about $1 million to Elon Musk. As you can see, storage lockers have the potential to be worth a lot of money, though you have to question those who left the money there to be gotten. Number 5. Gold in the future. Who hasn't lost a few coins or maybe $1 or $2 while sitting in their couch, sofa, or maybe their favorite chair? It's part of the fun as kids to rummage through the furniture to see what's there for the taking. But for one man in Normandy, France, he found something much more shocking in his furniture: gold. Now, to be clear, this wasn't just a random piece of furniture he bought, but rather, he had inherited a house in Normandy and was checking out the furniture when he indeed found the gold in question. There were 5,000 gold pieces, 2 bars of 12 kilograms, and 37 ingots of 1 kilogram, auctioneer Nicholas Fireholt told AFP. It should be noted that the gold wasn't just hidden in the furniture. It was put with boxes that were screwed into the underside of the furniture. And thus, when the heir, who chose not to reveal his identity, found some of these, he demanded an inventory to see all that had been there. The result was $3.7 million worth of gold being found in this furniture. Now, if you're curious as to whether this gold is ill-gotten gains, you can put your mind at ease as records of the gold indicate that it was indeed legally obtained. There is one twist, though. Because of French laws, the heir was liable for a 45% inheritance tax, and because the original owner didn't declare the assets, meaning they weren't in the will, they had to pay 3 years of back taxes on them. Whoops. Number 4. Green suitcase. Imagine this: you get a brand new home and you decide to go and renovate it to ensure that you get the most out of it. As you do, you find yourself looking at an odd green suitcase that is stashed within the ceiling of your basement area. When you take it down, you carefully open it up, and you see that there are old newspapers in there dating decades back. An odd find, but nothing too noteworthy yet. This is until you remove the newspapers and find a literal cache of cash with the amount of $23,000. This is indeed a true story that a Redditor posted on the site. He claimed that they had been living in said house for years before deciding to remodel, and they didn't expect much when they found the suitcase in question. I took the box outside and gathered the wife. It had something inside, but not heavy like coins or gold bars. Might get lucky though, could be old sports cards, he recalled. It wasn't, as I noted, and the couple was so stunned by this that they went and honestly had to get an appraiser to look at it to ensure that everything was on the up and up. This was a wild ride for us, and I hope you all enjoyed it too. We are boring people, and we've been dumping our extra money to pay off our mortgage, and this is where this money is going to go to, the post ends. Now, it almost kind of makes you want to remodel your own home to find what's in it, doesn't it? Number 3. Treasure on the beach. In 1712, Spain had just won a war for their succession from Britain and France, but the cost of that war for freedom was high. So they sent a fleet of ships to go across the ocean to places like Cuba, take the treasures that they had acquired and bring them back to Spain. Fast forward to 1715, and the fleet was 11 ships strong, and full of various items of wealth, including gold, silver, and pearls. Their trip back to Spain, though, with these treasures was met with a massive pitfall, as the head of the voyage had them go through an area during hurricane season. Within a week, the entire fleet had sunk, including all of the treasure that they had obtained. In Florida, however, there's a stretch of land called the Treasure Coast, because occasionally a piece of gold, silver, pearls, or other items will wash up from the treasure fleet. And this didn't just happen once or twice, though. It's occurred somewhat regularly over the years, thus giving divers a reason to go and try and find some of the ships, which they have. Not all the treasure has been found, though, to be clear, and so people still comb that beach and its waters looking for more valuables from that lost fleet. Number 2. Flea market. A man at a flea market might have found one of the most important historical finds ever, the Declaration of Independence. No, not the original declaration, but rather a copy of it. A very well-made copy that was worth a lot, as you'll see. This happened in 1989, and in Pennsylvania no less. A man was at a flea market when he saw a picture frame that caught his eye. He purchased the frame for $4. When he took it home, he removed the picture that the frame had in it already, and when he did, he found himself looking at a mint-condition copy of the Declaration of Independence. Historical records note that only 25 copies were ever made back in 1776, and were used to spread around the colonies to help show what the Founding Fathers had done. The fact that this one survived all this time is a true miracle. Sure enough, after getting it authenticated, he sold it for $2.1 million. Then in 2000, someone sold it again, this time getting $8.1 million. Number 1. The mattress of a bed. This is kind of a common joke in the world. Mainly since you can't trust banks or others, you go and hide your money in a mattress. Because who would suspect that? Except in this case, it was true, and the money in the mattress was $20 million, and the man who hid it there was part of a pyramid scheme. I promise this is a very true story. This all happened back in 2017 in Westboro, Massachusetts. Federal authorities were searching the home of a man in question, who again was part of a pyramid scheme, when they were looking under his mattress and they found massive stacks of cash. If you're wondering just how bad this pyramid scheme was, it was noted that about 965,225 people lost money when Telex Free collapsed, their losses totaling about $1,755,927,755. Despite all that, though, the man arrested, who was a Brazilian national, was only charged with 1 count of money laundering. Thanks for watching. What did you think of this look at places that shouldn't have had valuables and yet totally did? Which of the places mentioned was the most shocking to you? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to World List, and I'll see you next time for another video.